Let's move on to the next game, Saturday night game. It is the Brisbane Lions and the St Kilda Saints. Now, this one is yet to be landed on in terms of an actual venue, but I can tell you now that Brisbane and St Kilda will be playing for a Jason Graham of cocaine. So best of luck to those boys.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Interesting.
Bagsies.
Yeah, love that. I love that.
What do you reckon here, mate?
Lions.
Yep.
The Saints are on a bit of a run. There's no doubt about it. They're playing much better footy than they have done for a majority of this season. They're finally stringing a couple of little performances together. But I think the Lions at the moment, they are my premiership tip, and I'm going to continue in that vein until I see otherwise. When they're at their best, their attack is borderline unplayable. Their defence is borderline impenetrable. And their midfield without Neil is still elite.
Getting the job done. And well.
So, you know, they don't have a weak spot. I've been saying it all year. St Kilda absolutely do have weak spots, and I think the Lions are going to expose it. I would love to see a real nice close contest here, just to make that top 8 little roulette a little bit more interesting. You know, keep the Saints in touch with the group, but I just think the Lions are going to be too good here.
I'm on board with you that. I'm saying Brisbane 1-39. Now, interestingly, let's look at both teams coming into this last week. Crows worked their hardest to turn that Brisbane game into a scrap. They still lost by, 51 points? 53. 53? Oh, and who was it last week that said Brisbane would win by 50 plus? I think that might have been me. It might have been. Think that might have been me.
It might have been you.
Crows turned it into a scrap. Brisbane still blitzed them off the park. And as I said earlier, this is with no Neil, a tagged Zorko, a quiet Clug, and they still belted him. Zach Bailey had about 23 touches on his lonesome.
Yep. Also another star of the competition.
What a sleeper.
Elite.
The man is a sleeper. Unbelievable. St Kilda got 49 points up against Collingwood. 49 points up. Collingwood dug themselves back in to get within 8. And they could have, and there was still enough time on the clock. They could have kicked 2.
There was the old Lee Matthews rule, mate. There was 2 minutes on the clock and they only needed a goal and 2 points. So I was sitting there watching that game. I texted you and the bus, and obviously, Bus had no reception, so he didn't respond.
Correct.
But, you responded, and I was convinced Collingwood were going to win that game. The Saints just absolutely switched off. It was the most incredible quarter of football I have ever seen.
It was good, wasn't it?
If Collingwood played like that every week, genuine premiership contenders.
I would have thought.
It was unbelievable.
As long as they play St Kilda every week.
Yeah, exactly, and that's not always the case. And that is why the Lions absolutely will win this game comfortably as well. I'm thinking 40 plus.
I would have thought so.
If it's at the Gabba as well, Gabatoir, 40 plus.
I would have thought. Well, I don't know if I'd be surprised if it was at the Gabba. I wouldn't be surprised if they just tried to squeeze this one at Marvel, because look, there's a few games being played at the G. They could probably squeeze in another one at Marvel. That does suit St Kilda if it does go there.
And if not, get it down to the Holden Centre, mate.
I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, go on then.
Or down at Moorabbin.
Yeah, look, I think it's pretty straightforward, as you said. Although, having said that, I think the one weakness, if you could call it a weakness, that Brisbane might have is their ruck situation. I've never been a big fan of McInerney. He's just a jobber.
Yep.
He is just a jobber.
He is.
Whereas the Saints, Ryder and what's his face, Marshall, still working in such a good 1-2 punch combo.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, really good. Ryder playing a really good month of footy at the minute.
Absolutely. Elite. Came off last week, no preparation either. Out in the
Sorry, I say him up. Look, he's had his knocks this year when he has been playing for him. Hasn't missed.
But I mean, last week he was out in the scrub for most of the week. Couldn't get back to training. Managed to get in for the game and rocked up. Played well. Like I said, I just think McInerney, it's a small portion of a great unit.
Starts in the middle.
It does, but it's not as big a deal as the ex-ruckman like to think it is, mate.
Starts in the middle.
It's just not as big a deal as you
I can't hear, mate. All I can hear is bets. I'm looking at Steele, Lyons and Crouch for 25 disposals apiece. I'm looking at Daniel Rich for 20.
Sure.
I want Marcus Adams for 15.
Okay.
He had a great one. You know, it is a random one. He had a great one against the Crows, against Tex.
Yep.
He's a confidence player and a massive one at that. And I reckon he's building a nice head of steam. Whatever he's paying for 15, I think that'll be worth it. Zach Bailey and Stink Beans McCarthy, 1 goal apiece there. Although probably Lincoln, after kicking 4, is probably going to be paying about $1.02 for an anytime goal.
Yeah, but look, you love that. And he never will be paying that because it's just too inconsistent.
It's the stink bean.
It's the stinkers. But look, I don't have any markets. Because you know that I'm too sensible for that.
You are too sensible.
If there's no markets up, I don't give the punters the advice because I don't like to sound stupid.